Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm doing a review of a portfolio tasting of a wine agent called Worldwide Synergy. They're celebrating their 10th anniversary. I was invited to a lunch with the tasting of some of their portfolio wines. And I really like this company. They have some very unique wines, kind of in the more value range, which was really interesting for me to taste. I don't do these very often, but sometimes just something will pique my interest. And I thought, these guys have some interesting wines. I'd love to try them. And it does actually give me kind of insight into areas which I don't normally drink. I drink a lot of Bordeaux and Burgundy and pretty trophy and type wines, but it's always interesting to try something different. And they have a very unique portfolio. What I like about them is that they do have some product in BC liquor stores, which anyone can buy, and then they have some spec products. So they presented some really interesting wines, and so I want to go through them in this video. First wine is the 2022 Sorel Branca Partecella. It is an extra brut Prosecco Superior. And I really enjoyed this. In fact, I enjoyed it so much I actually ordered some of this for myself. It is a Prosecco wine. It is a winery that was started in the 80s by two sisters, the Branca sisters. And I thought it had that really nice creaminess. A lot of Prosecco's are just too light and really acidic and don't really have any substance. I thought this was a little bit more weighty and I really enjoyed it. It is a spec order, but it's priced at around $40 a bottle. And my notes were it's got pear and apple with salinity on the aftertaste. I really like the acidity, but it wasn't over acidic. But I thought the creaminess was the thing that I really enjoyed about this Prosecco, and my rating was 90 points. Next wine, the Alsace region. This is a producer called Durler Cade, and this is their 2018 Riesling. It is Kessler, and it is a Grand Cru region. So 100% Riesling, no oak influence on this, and really enjoyed it. Riesling is kind of undervalued in terms of, especially we in BC are used to very sweet Riesling. This is more a dry style. It is a spec buy or a spec product in BC. It's around $65. My notes on this were I loved the dryness of the wine, and I loved the rose petal aroma. I saw lemon, orange, acacia on the palate, and it's good weight, and then a steely, minerally aftertaste. I really like this wine in terms of just the production of it. It's got that Riesling, but almost a Chablis type feel to it, with the weightiness. So my rating was 92 points. Next is a really interesting wine. This is Bodega Los Bermeros 2023 Malvasia Seco Lanzarote. It is available in BC liquor stores for around $35.99. This is located on the island of Lanzarote, which is one of 7 Canary Islands. And there are wines from Canary Islands, and it's kind of neat. It is made with the Malvasia volcanica grape type. So again, something that I'm not really used to, kind of a volcanic soil, and a grape type Malvasia, which is not usually something I drink a lot of. This is a dry style, which is good. I see Malvasia sometimes in Madeira and also in kind of sweeter wines, but this is a dry style. And I think it really pairs very well with kind of seafood type dishes. So my notes on this is I thought it had good citrusy elements, good acidity, but also dried herbs, which is not kind of things I usually associate with a lot of. There's not a lot of white wines that I see this type of combination. It was a little bit oily with good weight. So it's got good weight, dried herbs, good acidity. So rating was 90 points. Next wine I have tried before. I was at a lunch with the Tiberio winery, and this is their Tiberio 2019 Fonte Canali from the Abruzzo region. It is made from the Trebbiano d'Abruzzo grape varietal, And I did a full review of the wines from Tiberio in a previous video. I'll put it at the end of this video. But basically, this is not the Trebbiano, the low value, high yielding Trebbiano that we see in other places. Trebbiano Abruzzo or Abruzzi is very unique in the grape varietal and very difficult to grow well. This winery has this wine is made from 96-year-old vines. They use indigenous yeast. It's fermented in stainless steel tanks with no malolactic fermentation. It is a spec order. It cannot be ordered in BC liquor stores. Normally, it's almost $100 a bottle, but it is quite a very nice wine, kind of equivalent to a Premier Cru Burgundy, in my opinion, in terms of quality. So my notes on this is minerally with floral components on the aroma. It has good weight, a little bit of oily texture, white peaches, apricots, tangerines, and then a smoky aftertaste, which is quite long. My rating is 90 points. Next one, another very unique grape and producer. This is Quercia. It's their 2021 Cali Riza Vidivin from Amidon. It is from Macedonia, and it's a Greek wine. I probably have some negative bias towards Greek wine for actually no reason. Probably because I've had Retsina, and probably it's not the greatest. But this is where I need to be able to taste wines to open my eyes. This is made from, it's a red wine, 100% Xinomavro, which is not a grape type I'm familiar with. It is an indigenous Greek grape varietal. It's often compared to Pinot Noir and Nebbiolo. It is fermented and matured in barrels for 14 months. And so again, this is kind of an example of a wine that I would not normally have. I get to taste. It's around $34 in liquor stores. And my notes on this was it's a red ruby color with strawberry in the nose, some black fruits, and some black pepper on the palate. Really liked it for kind of a simple value wine, 90 points. Next one is a Burgundy wine from Sauvignon Le Bon. And I'm probably tougher on these wines than some of the more obscure grape varietals because on those ones, I don't drink them. It's really exciting. With Burgundies, I know them pretty well. And so, probably the standard or the expectation is much higher. So I'm probably tougher on these than some of the other wines that I'm not more as familiar with. So anyways, this is Domaine Louis Chenu Père et Fils. It is the year 2022 Premier Cru La Lavière from Sauvignon Le Bon. It is available in BC liquor stores for around $80 a bottle. So this is got a little bit of new oak, or the current winemakers are fifth generation, and so they produce mainly Premier Cru wines, and their fermentation is carried out in low temperatures. The name La Lavière, it's named after a stone found in their subsoil. My tasting notes was I thought it was very aromatic with a little bit of meatiness actually. There was red currants, but it had some austerity that kind of reminded me almost like an Alsace Pinot. My rating was 88 points. Next wine is from the Beaujolais region, and the grape varietal is Gamay. This is Domaine Baron de la Cluse. This is their 2022 La Garance. It's Côte de Brulé. There are some good values in Beaujolais, and this one is at about $43 a bottle. So this is a very small estate, 6 hectares, and planted with Gamay vines on Mount Brulé. The grapes are made from vines that are as old as 90 years old. It's aged in 14-month in 5th passage French oak barrels, so it's going to be very subtle in terms of the oak. And so I enjoyed this wine. It's kind of lively. Beaujolais wines are of good quality. My notes on this was good weight and tannic structure with smoke on the nose, strawberry and cherry with minerally aftertaste. My rating was 88 points. Next wine is from Southern Rhone. It's Châteauneuf-du-Pape. The producer is Domaine du Seigneur, and it's their 2022 Yamasaki. I actually never found out why they called it Yamasaki, but it is a fifth generation business, founded in 1967. The blend here is 60% Grenache, 20% Syrah, 20% Cinsault. First of all, I'm not a big Chateauneuf-du-Pape drinker, so that's part of it. But I actually found it quite light in style compared to most Chateauneuf-du-Papes. I thought there's a lot of red fruit, but it was pretty straightforward and not a lot of complexity. So probably for my palate, one of the least favorite for the tasting of that day. But again, I'm not a big Chateauneuf-du-Pape fan, so my rating is 86 points. It's interesting to compare and contrast with another Chateauneuf-du-Pape. This is from Domaine de la Baroche. It's their 2021 Julien Barrat Chateauneuf-du-Pape. This is also listed at BC liquor stores. It is about $70 a bottle. So it is a blend, 65% Grenache, 20% Mourvedre, 13% Syrah, and 2% other types of grape. It's matured 18 months in a combination of concrete tanks, foudres, and demi-moods or barrels. It does have quite a bit of alcohol content. It's at 15%. I enjoyed this quite a bit more than the other Chateauneuf-du-Pape. I thought it was comparatively very fruit forward on the nose, and black fruit, black cherry, smoke, it's good acidity. But I didn't think it was, even though it's 15% alcohol, I didn't really feel it. So I actually quite enjoyed this. My rating is 90 points. I really like this next wine for its value, and it's Sangiovese, but not from Chianti, from a region called Emilia Romagna, and particular town of Papetapio. So the producer is Sierra Condello. It's their 2022 Romagna Sangiovese. And so the vines are on calcareous clay laden soils that date back 3 million years. And it's just a different kind of interpretation of the Sangiovese grape. And the vines are approximately 40 years old. They're aged in 12 months in Slavonian oak body. And so I thought it was just a neat product and very inexpensive for what it is, $28.99, and it's available at liquor stores. I really liked it, and I'm going to recommend it in my monthly updates at BC liquor stores. My tasting notes: bright acidity with red cherry, spice, and minerality, earthy, dusty tannins, but good body and weight. My rating was 91 points. This wine was probably my favorite of the whole tasting, just for the price point, the uniqueness, the wow factor for me. So this is from the Lazio region. This is Casal de Giglio, and it is their 2022 IGT Lazio Rosso. It's made 100% with the Cesenese grape, and that is very indigenous to this region. It is listed product, so you can get it at BC liquor stores for $25.99. Love the price of this. Cesenese is a grape type that's indigenous to Italy. It's got dark ruby covers, intense aromas of like cherry. It's got black pepper, violets. It's got a lot going on. It's a really kind of in-your-face type grape. Love the type of taste. You're not subtle. It's just gonna be great with food, and a really exciting price in my perspective. So it is a winery that started in 1967, and again, this is for wine lovers. If you love wine, you want to try something different. This is where it's at. Cesenese is such a great drinking grape. It's not something you're gonna sell or age to sell, but it's great. So my tasting notes on this was very unique: dark fruit, black currants with huge tannins, violets, and some black pepper. I found it almost like a heavier, spicier version of a Pomerol wine. That's kind of how I described it. Really loved it. 92 points. Next wine is a Chianti Classico from the Radda region. And again, it's probably harder to wow me with Chiantis than, let's say, a Cesenese grape, which I'm not as familiar with, which I think is unique. So I've tasted a lot of Chianti Classicos, so you gotta really be different to kind of wow me on this one. But this is a really good price point on this one. It is a spec order, so it's not available regularly in BC liquor stores. Around $60. It is Lerta de Rada. It's their 2020 Chianti Classico Reserva. It is single vineyard selection of Sangiovese from a village near the village of Rada, and it is hand harvested and then aged 24 months in Boti. That's why it's Reserva. Tasting notes on this: it is a little bit young. It's quite strong in terms of the tannins, but it's fairly taste profile is fairly classic Chianti. Black cherry licorice, dry herbs. I think it needs a little time. My rating is 89 points. Next wine is a Brunello di Montalcino, and again, this is kind of a situation where it might be a little bit unfair because I do drink a lot of Brunello, and so as compared to some more unique grapes, I'm going to be a bit tougher on this probably. This is a producer called Barici, and their site is on the Montesoli Hill with south to southeast exposure, which should probably be one of the better sites. 100% Brunello or Sangiovese clone grape, and it is again a spec item that you cannot order or you cannot find readily in BC liquor stores. This was served in Magnum format, so I would say it's probably around $130 a bottle. So for me, this was quite tannic and alcoholic with not a lot of fruit. So maybe it's just not, they'll need some age on it because Brunellos are very tannic in their youth. There's some wild strawberry and woodsy aftertaste and a little bit of spice. But I'm not sure if it's ready to drink right now. Maybe it needs a little bit more aging. My rating was 86 points. Next wine, another wine I quite liked. One of my favorites of the day, coming from the Trentino Alto Adige region, which to me is more known for its white wines. But this is a red wine with the Cabernet Franc grape, Eugenio Rossi. It's their 2017 to 2019 Cabernet Franc. So with their wines, they blend 3 vintages together. So it was the 17 to 19. It's a spec order, so it's not readily available in BC liquor stores. Around $72 a bottle. And I really like it. It's aged 3 years in 3 types of barrels, including cherry and chestnut. And I think Cabernet Franc is always a grape type that I'm interested in. So my notes on this wine was that it had a lot of black fruit and just a slight bit of greenness and herbaceousness in the aftertaste, just enough to make the wine interesting, but not like bitter. So I really liked that combination. Really different from the Cabernet Franc that you would find from Pomerol wineries, but really enjoyed it. My rating of this wine was 92 points. Last wine we had was from the Cahors region in France. It is a Malbec. It's from the Domaine Capellano. It's their 2017 Amfoot Malbec. So this is a 5-generation winery that has 70-plus-year-old Malbec vines. And again, compare and contrast to the taste that you would get from a Argentinian Malbec, which 2/3 of the wine the grapes are aged in amphora. And my kind of feeling is that amphora really brings out the freshness in wines for some reason. So I really like this. This is going to be priced at $43 a bottle, and it is in BC liquor stores. So my notes was blackberries, black tea, mulberry, with spice notes in the aftertaste. And I really like the freshness of this wine. I gave it 90 points. So all in all, really fun portfolio tasting. WWS has a lot of really interesting wines. They're not household names, but really small, kind of exclusive producers. And I really like their product because it's quite interesting. And they have a very good variety of grapes and regions. Hope you've enjoyed this review. Until next time, happy drinking.